The air crackled with anticipation. Władysław Szpilman, fingers poised above the ivory keys, prepared to unleash a torrent of Chopin. It was 1939. He was home, sharing his gift with Warsaw. Then the world fractured. Explosions ripped through the airwaves, replacing the delicate trills with the cacophony of war. Szpilman's world, much like his music, lay in ruins. He watched in disbelief, the radio station crumbling under a barrage of fire. The music, his sanctuary, was gone, replaced by the deafening roar of destruction. The city, once vibrant and alive, was now a battleground, shrouded in smoke and despair. The German army swept through Warsaw, their presence a suffocating weight on the city. The hammer blow of fate came in the form of a decree, a chilling announcement that would forever alter the lives of Warsaw's Jewish community. All Jews were to be relocated, herded like cattle into a designated area, the Warsaw Ghetto. This was not just a relocation, it was a forced exile into a world of uncertainty and fear. Szpilman, his family by his side, was forced into this abyss. They carried with them only what they could, leaving behind a life they once knew and cherished. The world shrunk to the confines of these overcrowded streets, a prison built of fear and despair. The ghetto was a labyrinth of suffering, where every corner held a new story of loss. Gone was the comfort of their home, replaced by the stench of squalor and the gnawing pangs of hunger. The once vibrant community was now a shadow of its former self, struggling to survive. The ghetto was a cauldron of human misery. Every day was a battle against starvation, disease, and the ever-present threat of violence. Families were torn apart, their lives reduced to a desperate struggle for survival. The bonds of love and kinship were tested to their limits in this harsh environment. Disease ran rampant, feasting on the weak and the vulnerable. The lack of medical supplies and proper sanitation turned the ghetto into a breeding ground for illness. Szpilman, witnessing the slow disintegration of his world, clung to the memory of music, its beauty a stark contrast to the ugliness that surrounded him. Music became his refuge, a reminder of a world that once was. He found solace in the most unexpected of places, a cafe. Amidst the chaos, this small haven offered a brief escape from the harsh reality outside. Here, amidst the despair, music still breathed. It was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a flicker of hope in the darkest of times. He played, his fingers dancing across the keys, his soul pouring out into the melodies that filled the cramped space. Each note was a defiance against the oppression, a declaration that beauty and art could still exist, even in the face of such overwhelming darkness. Survival became a game of shadows and whispers, a delicate dance between life and death. Szpilman, driven by desperation and a will to live, sought escape from the relentless grip of the Nazi regime. Each step he took was fraught with danger, every corner a potential trap. He found work outside the ghetto, his piano-playing skills providing a lifeline in the face of adversity. The music, once a source of joy, now became a means of survival, a way to blend into the background and avoid suspicion. Each day, he walked a tightrope, his heart pounding with the fear of discovery, his mind haunted by the ever-present danger. The streets, once familiar, now felt like a labyrinth of peril. He became a phantom, moving through the city's underbelly, his existence known only to a select few. The shadows were his allies, the darkness his shield. He witnessed the brutality of the Nazis firsthand, their cruelty a constant reminder of the precariousness of his situation. The sight of soldiers patrolling the streets, harassing civilians, was a daily torment. He saw families torn apart, their cries echoing in the desolate streets. The pain of separation, the anguish of loss, was a haunting melody that played in his mind. Each encounter with the enemy was a brush with death, a stark reminder of the ever-present threat to his own existence. The tension was palpable, the fear almost suffocating. The ghetto, once a symbol of confinement, now represented a perverse form of security. It was a place where he could momentarily let his guard down, even as the walls closed in around him. He returned each night, his spirit heavy with the weight of his experiences, to the embrace of his family. Their presence was a balm to his weary soul, a fleeting respite from the horrors outside. But the reunion was bittersweet. The joy of being together was overshadowed by the constant threat of separation, the looming specter of loss. His mother, her body racked with illness, succumbed to the relentless grip of typhoid. The disease, like the war, showed no mercy. Szpilman, now orphaned, clung to the memory of their love, their faces etched forever in his heart. The keepsakes he held were not just mementos but lifelines to a past that seemed increasingly distant. The ghetto was a powder keg, primed to explode. The air was thick with tension and every corner held whispers of rebellion. Resistance, a flickering flame in the hearts of the oppressed, began to ignite. The people, weary of their chains, found strength in unity and hope in defiance. Szpilman, his spirit hardened by loss, found purpose in the fight for freedom. His music, once a source of solace, now became a weapon against tyranny. He joined the Jewish Combat Organization, his skills as a musician proving unexpectedly valuable. His melodies, once filled with sorrow, now carried the rhythm of resistance. He became a courier, his movements cloaked in secrecy, his every step a gamble against fate. Each message he carried was a lifeline, a thread of hope in the darkness. He smuggled weapons, his heart pounding with each clandestine exchange. The weight of the arms he carried was matched only by the weight of his resolve. He delivered messages, his mind racing with the weight of their contents. Each letter, each word was a spark igniting the flames of rebellion. He risked his life, not for glory or recognition, but for the hope of a future free from tyranny. His sacrifices were silent, but their impact echoed through the ghetto. The music, once silenced by despair, found new life in the struggle for liberation. Each note played was a defiant cry for freedom, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The ghetto, once a symbol of oppression, became a battleground. The streets, once filled with fear, now echoed with the sounds of resistance. The uprising, fueled by desperation and a thirst for vengeance, erupted in a fury of defiance. The oppressed, armed with courage and conviction, stood their ground. Szpilman, armed with a pistol and the courage of his convictions, fought alongside his comrades. Together they forged a path through the darkness, their spirits unbroken. The city became his prison. Szpilman, forced into hiding, became a ghost, haunting the ruins of his former life. He moved from one hiding place to another, his existence a precarious dance with death. Hunger gnawed at his insides, a constant companion to his fear. He was alone, his spirit slowly crumbling under the weight of his experiences. His body, ravaged by starvation and illness, became a stranger to him. He shivered, his emaciated frame offering little resistance to the bitter cold. One day, his luck seemed to run out. He was discovered not by a Gestapo officer, but by a German soldier, Captain Wilhelm Hosenfeld. Hosenfeld, his eyes reflecting a flicker of humanity, saw not an enemy, but a fellow human being in need. He did not betray Szpilman's Jewish identity. Instead, he offered him food and shelter, a lifeline in the face of certain death.